Hello guys, Steam Joe here, and I'm back with another review of One Punch Man. Now this one is for episode 3, English dubbed, and it premiered on Toonami. So the episode basically picked up where episode 2 left off, where the armored gorilla giving Genos and Saitama the information about the House of Evolution. And he started off telling Saitama and Genos about the scientist who created the House of Evolution. His name is Genus, which almost sounds like genius, but anyway, they showed how at a young age he was world renowned, seemed like, at being one of the smartest people on the planet, smartest scientists on the planet. And he pioneered a lot of different, scientific finds for human science. What a lot of scientists didn't like about him was that instead of him, he looked at human evolution as more of an artificial process than a natural process. So because of that, no one would back his studies. So he basically had to do everything by himself, and he was upset with humans in general because he felt like we did that we didn't want to take risks anymore in figuring out how to become better artificially. So he decided, I think at like maybe mid-20s, that he was going to figure out how to make humans better artificially by himself. And that basically went on from his 20s all the way to his 70s. And when he was 70, like I think mid-70s or something, he found the cure for aging. So he went from 70 years old all the way back down to mid-25s. And not only that, he cloned himself multiple times so that way he'll have workers who could help him experiment. And not only did he experiment with the clones, because they was like his lab partners, he used animals as test subjects, and then eventually he went to humans also. So as this story was being told, Saitama was starting to get bored, and he was like, well, can you just get to the point? Because, he's just trying to figure out why did these guys show up and destroy my roof on the last episode, which was pretty funny. So, and Genos was like, yeah, you gotta hurry up, 20 words or less, 20 words or less. Armored Gorilla cut to the chase and said that Genus wanted Saitama's body, and Saitama took that as Genus was trying to get with Saitama. So then Saitama's response to was, well, I'm not interested in dudes. Then Gino said, well, no, Saitama, Armored Gorilla didn't mean like that. He actually meant that Genus wants to do tests and create a whole new type of human based off of your genes, or DNA, you can say. So then Saitama was like, oh, okay. So next thing you know, Saitama is ready to go to the House of Evolution, to Genos' surprise. But reason why Saitama wanted to do it quick and early was because tomorrow, or on Saturday, it was a sale at the bargain store. So that gave Saitama the jump to go and figure out what was going on at the House of Evolution. So meanwhile, in between time, the next scene goes to the House of Evolution, and they're getting the reports that the team that was sent out to capture Saitama was destroyed. Everybody except for Armored Gorilla. Because then Armored Gorilla sent the report after Saitama and Genos left. he sent the report. Armor Gorilla sent the report to the House of Evolution, letting them know that all minions was destroyed, the creation was destroyed, everybody except for him. He was letting them know that Saitama and Genos was on their way. Genos, the scientist, at the last minute thought of pulling out a trump card. His name is Carnage Kabuto. And the clones did not agree with bringing out Carnage Kabuto because he was too much of a wild cannon. But because Saitama and Genos was on their way, they had no choice but to bring him out. So the next scene was Saitama and Genos running towards the House of Evolution, and as Saitama and Genos was running, Genos said that he didn't think that they would run all the way to the House of Evolution, and he actually thought that Saitama could fly. So Saitama responded, "No, humans can't fly, that's just silly." So then next scene was they found the entrance to the House of Evolution, which was it's a tall building. It's a kind of a weird shaped building, but that's the entrance way for it. So Genos destroys the top of it, thinking that was the most efficient way to do it. Saitama didn't completely agree with that, but Genos thought it was the most efficient way. But in destroying the top of the House of Evolution, or the entranceway, they found the door to the basement, which was the true entranceway to House of Evolution. So Genos and Saitama enters the basement, and next scene is one of the clones shooting at Carnage Kabuto. Bullets aren't doing anything against him because his skin is like armor or something. So then next thing you know, Carnage Kabuto grabs the clone and basically smashes him, sends pieces of his body all over the place, blood, limbs, everything. And so then Genos walks in and tells him and asks him, why is he destroying the clones, and did he have enough satisfaction doing that? So then Carnage Kabuto replies, "Well, you keep me locked up here all the time, so I have nothing to do." And he was like, "I'm so strong, technically speaking, I should be running you guys." So then Genos was talking to himself and said, technically speaking, that is true, he should be running us just because he's stronger. So then that's when Genos asks Kabuto if he could do him one last favor, and if he does that favor, then Genos really doesn't care what happens to him, just because he has clones that'll be able to pick up the work or the studying that he'll leave behind, if Kabuto does kill Genos. So the favor that Genos asks as Kabuto is to capture Saitama, dead or alive. Kabuto sees it as a challenge. He smiles, and it's like he didn't say anything, but you can tell that he agreed, just because he'll be able to get out and test his strength against another strong opponent. Carnage Kabuto and Genos. Genos is actually being held by Kabuto as he's running. I think he's squeezing his arm or something, breaking it basically. So as Kabuto and Genos are running through the hallway, Kabuto decides that he wants to attack him, so he asks Genos which one, and Genos tells him, "Get Saitama." So then Kabuto basically knocks Genos into the wall. So then Kabuto looks at Saitama and tells him that they can fight in this new testing room, and it'll be able to show who's the strongest, their power levels. Saitama agrees, and they go into this room. It's basically white. It's huge. And so next scene was the two combatants, Kabuto and Saitama, staring at each other. So Kabuto is saying, yeah, I'm the strongest here. You know, nobody's never defeated me, this and that. You know, he's bragging. The next thing you know, Genos comes out of the wall and shoots a fireball at Kabuto. So Kabuto looks, Kabuto blocks the fireball. Or it doesn't even affect him, really. So Kabuto looks and is like, oh, so you're still alive? So next thing you know, Genos goes to this full assault against Kabuto. And he's throwing punches and kicks. It's another high quality fight scene. The choreography was very great. Animation was nice too. I liked how with this fight, the animation was a lot more fluid than the past 2 episodes. And I thought that helped with illustrating how strong Kabuto was. Kabuto knocks Genos into Saitama's arms. Saitama gets up, then Genos gets up and was like, let me beat him, I have to do this. So then he shoots a very big fireball at Kabuto's, and as the fireball is coming towards Kabuto, Kabuto uses his breath to blow it right back at Saitama and Genos. So the next thing you know, after the fire goes away, Saitama looks at Genos. It says, your hair. And it's Genos' hair puffed up like an afro because of the heat, frizzed up. Next scene was Genos walking through the hallways because he was left behind after Kabuto and Saitama went to the battle arena. And Genos is just talking to himself, saying how he can't wait to get Saitama, you know, test him out and test out his DNA and genes and see what makes him very strong, so that way he can then create more strong humans and monsters and everything. So Genos comes to the arena and he sees Saitama and Kabuto staring at each other. So then Kabuto is, you know, talking more smack, saying get ready to fight, this and that. And Saitama is just staring like, you know, I'm just ready to fight. So then Saitama starts walking towards Kabuto. It was like, you better be very strong. You know, I'm looking for a fight. And then he says that he noticed that Kabuto was a lot different than the ones that came and ripped up his roof and was trying to attack him at his apartment. He said, Saitama said that Kabuto was a lot more confident. So then next thing you know, Kabuto disappears behind Saitama and he's getting ready to punch him. But then Kabuto disappears behind Saitama and he's getting ready to attack him from behind. The next thing you know, Kabuto has this very bad feeling, and it basically spooked him, the feelings he was having. So Kabuto jumped probably like 50 miles or something behind Saitama. He was right behind Saitama. The next thing you know, he jumped all the way from behind him. He had to have been like 50 miles away, I think. And then he was just up against kind of the wall, shaking, because he was so scared. And Saitama is just like, huh, what's going on? And Genos looks, Genos is like, wait, what's going on? And then Genos is the same way too. So then Kabuto asks Saitama, how did he get that strong? So as Kabuto was up against the wall, scared of Saitama, he started talking to himself, and he said that the feeling he got when he was behind Saitama was like no other he ever felt, and that if he stayed behind Saitama any longer, he would have been dead, just because Saitama was so fast and strong. So then Kabuto yells out to Saitama, how did you get so strong? What are you? And then Saitama looks and says, you want me to tell you my secret to being this strong? And then he was like, okay, well, I'll tell you. Then Genos was like, what? He's scared to spit out the secret? So then Saitama also told Genos to come close so he can hear the secret too. Then that's when the scientist, Genos, walks up and says, I want to know too. Then Saitama is like, who are you? Then the scientist says, you know, I'm Genos. So then Saitama was like, okay, fine, I'll tell all three of you. So then Genos at the time thought it was a bad idea because he was telling the enemy the secret also, but Saitama didn't care. So then next thing you know, Saitama said it took him 3 years to get this strong. He stuck to the training that he did, and it paid off because he became who he was currently. So then everybody's waiting for the secret, you know, like, what's he gonna say? What is he gonna say? So next thing you know, Saitama says, my secret training is 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and do a 10, what did he say? I think 10-kilometer run. Yeah, then do a 10-kilometer run every day. Saitama said he did that for 3 years, and that's how he became strong. So then he said you eat 3 meals a day. If you eat a banana for breakfast, that's okay. But you have to make sure that there's no AC running. When it's hot, you can't have the cool air running, and when it's cold outside, you can't have the heat running. And then he was like, no matter how bad you want to quit, you have to keep going. So then they showed Saitama doing push-ups, doing the running, doing the squats, and throughout all the exercising he had to do, he went through a lot of pain, a lot of misery, but it made him very strong. The only downside was he lost all his hair. He became bald. But he said, in order to become very strong, you gotta lose your hair. You have to lose your hair. So then after the other three heard that, Genos and Kabuto, they was like, what? Huh? They was like, they can't believe it, it can't be true. So then Genos was the one at first that spoke out and was like, Saitama, it's not true what you're saying. That was just basic training. That wasn't even intense. So then the scientists agreed and was like, yes, he had to do some type of modification or in addition to his body in order to become that strong. And then Kabuto, basically, once he heard that, he was like, okay, this guy is weak, I'm stronger. So then now you got Kabuto mad, you got Genos mad, and Genos is like, wait, what's going on? Because, you know, he's basically still confused at the whole situation. So then the next scene was Kabuto going into carnage mode. Because now he's like, okay, I'm done with this. This One Punch Man Saitama guy, he ain't nothing. I'll beat him. All I gotta do is transform into my carnage mode. So then as he was transforming into his carnage mode, Kabuto, he said that he would be like this for 7 days. He would go on a rampage and wouldn't, nobody or no one thing would be able to stop him. So then he said, I'll be like this all the way until next Saturday. So then that's when Saitama started thinking about what the date was currently. So then as Kabuto is transforming into Carnage mode, Saitama then says that he made a big mistake. And next thing you know, Carnage, Kabuto starts knocking Saitama around, knocking him into the walls, punching him into walls, punching him in his face, sending him up into the sky, down into the ground. And then he starts just pulverizing him in the ground, like one, bam, 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 bam. And as he's doing, he's saying death, 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 death. And throughout all this, Saitama is saying that he made a big mistake. He said, then Saitama said, well, if he's going to be like this for 7 days, and that's next Saturday, then that means today has to be Saturday. And remember, at the beginning of the episode, Saitama was trying to go to the discount store or bargain store Saturday, but Saitama thought that tomorrow was, well, yeah, he thought that tomorrow was going to be Saturday, but in actuality, that day was Saturday. So that's when Saitama, after being pulverized by Carnage Kabuto, then decide to throw his one punch that, basically separates his head from his body, his arms from his legs, this and that, his green blood going all over the place. And as he's punching Kabuto, he's also screaming too because he's upset, because he now realizes that the sale is on now. The bargain sale is going on now. And he thinks that he missed it. Saitama thinks he missed the bargain sale. So as the body pieces are flying all over the ground of Kabuto, Saitama starts yelling like, no, I missed the sale, I missed the sale. And throughout all of this, Genos, the scientist, is just looking like, wait, what is going on? I just had Kabuto in his carnage mode. He's basically, invincible, indestructible, and this guy just knocked him out with one punch. So then Saitama is crying. Well, not crying, but he's yelling and, still in misery. Then that's when Genos shows Genos, the scientist, the flyer for the bargain sale. And then Genos runs to Saitama and shows him that the sale ends in 4 hours, so they still had time. So then Saitama's like, oh, really? Okay, so you think we can make it? And Genos was like, yes, if we leave now, we can make it. So then Saitama says, okay, well then, let's go. So the next thing you know, they bust a hole in the wall of the arena just to leave. And they gone. They go into that bargain bin sale. So then as they leave, Genos just stands there and he's looking, because on one side he has a dead body, a dead monster's body, and then another side you got a huge hole in your arena now, or your testing center. So then the scientist says, well, maybe I need to change myself because I don't know what's going on. And then he just looks. And then that's the end of the episode. I thought episode 3 was very funny. The action was good as always, the choreography, the fluidity of the animation. I didn't think that Saitama and Genos was going to go to the House of Evolution on the 3rd episode. I thought maybe like 7 or 8 episode 7 or 8, they'd be at the House of Evolution, but not the 3rd one. So it seemed like the writers wanted to just get that out of the way and wait to see who the next villain is. Not only that, let's see how that House of Evolution evolve from meeting Saitama and Genos, because that's the next big thing. I'm thinking though that the next time Genos and Saitama sees the House of Evolution, they're going to be a lot stronger. But thanks guys for watching my review video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And please stay tuned to my channel because I will be having gaming videos coming up. Thank you for supporting my channel so far, giving me so many views. I really appreciate it. Let's keep them coming. and I'll make sure I give you guys some great content to look at. As always, Steam Joe out.